It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
Hey, Toasties. How's it going?
Ooh.
How's it going, Adam?
It's great. It's episode 211. You're back on the show. I mean, what more can we ask for, folks? I hope you're asking for some news and some reviews, a little bit of polls. How you doing, Dennis?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be back after the quick little break there. I know a lot of movie stuff's been happening since I've been gone, and I'm excited to get back to sharing it with you, Toasties, and getting to chat movies with you, Adam.
Definitely. So I guess with no further delay, let's get into the segment that we start the show off called News.
Gather round, folks, it's time for the scoop. Tune your ears in, let's join the loop.
Tune those ears.
All right. My ears are tuned. Up first, Dennis. It looks like it might be game over for Jigsaw, because all signs are pointing towards the end of the Saw franchise. Of course, everyone loves Saw 10. It was a nice revitalization of the franchise, and we're supposed to be getting Saw 11 by the end of the year, but it looks like that spot has been taken by another film, and they haven't even started a production yet.
Yeah. So, as we all would much rather have more of The Strangers, I
like The Strangers reboot. It was good, but I could see that at another point in time in the year.
I don't see why you couldn't try to figure out how to get them both to fit, because
Right.
you're always going to have an audience for Saw now, at least for another decade or so, and then you're gonna have people who rediscover those films. But I get keeping the momentum on the new series, or the new film as well.
But I feel like, I guess the main issue here, there's like two dividing factors. Some people are thinking it's the fact that Tobin Bell is getting so old, and can he lead a film again? But it's like, think back to Saw. He was barely in it, but you put him in scarcely. But then others are thinking, there's a lot at play here, and it could be the fact that they want to reboot the franchise, but they need to have a little bit of time and distance between it.
And I'm like, it's just one of those that it's gone for so long and gone through so many decades. What good is rebooting the whole series again?
They've rebooted it multiple times. Like, each time we don't have John Kramer in it, sure, but then you have the Spiral by the Book of Saw with Chris Rock. That didn't work so well. So why is this new iteration? I don't know. It's all hearsay right now, but
yes, of course.
It just sucks, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see. Like, to get the formula of then having to top the last one, then just make just like a Fast and the Furious or something. You're just going to get so big. Like, what would 11 do? Well, I can only imagine how grand that would have been. But then take it all the way back to one. You lose the charm. Like, the first one still was so brutal, but then I loved how contained it was, almost entirely in that room, the entire movie.
But then they totally lost that within the first, I want to say, after the third into the fourth, they started venturing to different, trying to make it too grand and too rich, which, I mean, if you want to hear, back when Spiral came out, I did the rewatch of all the movies and did the talks, but yeah, it's just a shame because 10 was so fresh and interesting, and maybe we just leave it at 10. There's no need for more than 10 of these fucking torture porn movies.
Exactly. 10's probably a good number there.
They still live in our hearts and our minds.
Right. That's very true.
But speaking of another horror franchise that we thought was dead, it looks like Linda Cardellini is heading to Camp Crystal Lake in the prequel series Crystal Lake for Peacock, where she'll be playing Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother.
See, after I heard about this one, I was kind of like, and it sounds like, and Jason's going to be in it as a child.
I would assume so, because isn't that where he ended up going into the water because his mom was doing something else?
I'm kind of just like, so what are we doing here? I mean, Linda Carlini is great, but I'm just
she's fantastic.
What is this show going to be then?
And I think that's the question.
Kind of not the main guy, and I don't.
Although, when you really think back to the first movie or two, he wasn't really our main guy, and she was our main guy in disguise of him. But I don't know, and that's the issue here. This show was supposed to be in production and already have come out, but it got delayed and pushed back. I thought it was completely dead until I saw this news. So, and it's being produced by A24, which is kind of interesting. Yeah,
they've also been broadening out their scope quite a bit too. That as with the upcoming Death of a Unicorn, or did it just came out? Yeah, so it's which is a pretty like much more mainstream compared to a lot of their other stuff, especially several years ago. So I'm assuming this is going to kind of feel like it's leaning that direction again and not quite as risky. So what's this like? I don't know. I need to know more before I'm going to get excited about it. That's really hard.
Like, because there's got to be like a spooky horror element, but if we don't have Jason killing people, what is it? Just watching campers at a camp tormenting a little boy or something? I don't know.
Is it just going to be this like seasons of quote unquote slow burn as we're
because we have enough of that in the A24 movies. Do we need seasons of that?
Yeah, exactly. I need 8 hours of waiting for the killer to show up. Oh my God.
What a slow burn that would be. Anywho, that is not all we have to talk about in the world of horror films. It seems as if the one and only Darren Aronofsky is considering directing a remake of Stephen King's classic Cujo over at Netflix.
I've got to ask about this thumbnail really quick, folks. For those of you who can't see it, I got the sneaking suspicion this might be another famous dog that went by the name Beethoven and not Cujo.
You'd think that, but it is Cujo.
It is. Okay.
I cultivated. It took a lot of digging on the internet and Google Images to find a not completely bloodied version of Cujo. Because I felt like if I'm putting a picture of Cujo out there and it's a dog covered in blood, people might think the dog was in danger if they don't know Cujo. So I didn't want people thinking I'm putting like animal massacres on the internet. So I had to put the tame version.
Oh, don't worry, the dog is doing the massacring.
Yeah, exactly.
All good.
But
acceptable.
What really baffles me here, I get do Cujo. The first movie was great. We could use it in modern day, but Mother and fucking Black Swan, Aaron Aronofsky, like he's an art house guy. Why? Why this?
Perspective and tone. I think trying to capture, like, as Rickety Cricket would say, trying to get into the mind of a dog. But I think to achieve it in this with what he can do would be really interesting and probably really brutal. And speaking of slow burn, this would be done in a visually pleasing way. At the end of the day, it's going to look interesting.
Hell yeah.
We know that it's going to have a pace that it's like will keep drawing you in. So I don't know. That is
I'm intrigued.
I'm excited about. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, like a point of view of a dog. Out of South by Southwest a couple of weeks ago, there was a movie that was called Good Boy, I believe, that is about a home invasion, and it's all from the perspective of the dog. I'm looking forward. It's gotten some good reviews. I'm hoping it gets the distribution. I know the script was on the blacklist for a while, but
that's a great concept, though.
Right? It's like, how have we not got that yet? That's crazy. But
Beethoven kills.
Well, staying in the realm of novels, here's another one that just baffles me. A few episodes ago, we talked about M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks doing a movie. But no, we're one-upping it this episode, Dennis, with James Patterson and Mr. Beast teaming up for a novel that sounds oddly like Squid Game.
He's got one that Mr. Fucker's got one thing on his mind right now, and it's with the way it kind of reads to me is like, man, you know what I really wish I could do is kill all these people on my show.
Especially right now with all the controversy and whatnot going on.
Yeah. I'm like, you really think this is very well timed, Sir Beast, and James Patterson? What are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing?
You're a beloved author. You make pounding, thrilling novels that people want. Now you're like, Yeah, Mr. Beast, let's do the most dangerous game. All right, here's the log line, folks. Players fight to survive deadly tests held in dangerous locations around the world as they battle to become the one. What the fuck does that mean? Why?
If it's
We
not
have
Jet
Squid
Li and
Game.
Jason Statham, then I don't care about who the one is.
Exactly.
This just floors me. I cannot believe either side said yes to this. I mean, it sounds dumb enough for something as something that Mr. Beast would do, but
100%. But to drag Patterson into it.
Yeah, come on.
And the fact that this is spiking a huge bidding war with different studios for film and TV rights is like, oh, wow, okay, sure. Not even an original concept.
That fucker just prints money, though. That's why everyone's just going to throw money at him.
True.
I was at the convenience store a couple months ago, I want to say. I was just like grabbing a soda, and
You talking about the Beast candy? Or
kid, oh my God, this kid walks in, screams at the top of his lungs, ah, Mr. Beast, and just runs to the shelf where all the Mr. Beast shit is, and just has to read the title of each thing. Because there's like 2 different candies, and there's like a fucking cup thing. There's a little action figure of the like cougar.
Yes. I've been searching for the 12-inch Jack Black Minecraft toy. So I've been going through a lot of like toy sections, and there's Mr. Beast toys everywhere, and they look cool. But I'm like, what the fuck does any of this have to do with Mr. Beast?
Exactly.
He does dumb things and gives away his money on YouTube. Like, he's not a superhero.
Which he then, has been debunked many times that he doesn't actually do most of the things he claims he does.
Sure.
And it's gross. I don't. I'm ready for this trend to go. I was ready for this trend to go away years ago.
I'm shocked it's still around. Getting better and bigger, but not better. I don't know. It could be, but getting bigger and bigger each day. It's crazy.
There is a great if you're in this. Clearly, this as much of a fan as Adam and I are. There's a really funny animated video on YouTube. I forget the title of it, but it's this really hilarious short of someone getting transported into this alternate future, a la Terminator, where Jimmy has destroyed. It's the apocalypse, and there's this like fucking Mr. Beast semi truck driving around, just destroying the planet, and it's just so fucking funny. The last fan of his is like thrown into the future where he's destroyed the world, and it's highly recommend checking that out.
Nice. That sounds funny.
It's just this Jimmy, no! It's stuck in my head every time. Oh my God.
Well, there is another bidding war happening in Tinseltown, but this time it's for the Bourne franchise, because Universal has lost the rights to make the films, and now streamers want to get in the Bourne industry.
And here's another one, like another potential revamp, another potential starting anew at a beloved franchise. A really solid movie. I mean, I swear, if you like, folks, if you haven't seen it in a while, or you've never seen the first Bourne Identity, I'd go back and watch it. The movie still kicks ass. Like it's one of those. It was kind of done after the first 3. The third one I wasn't really excited about, anyways. And then they made 2 fucking more.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it was supposed to be spun off with Jeremy Renner, and then years later, after that didn't work, and they did more movies, they did a TV series called Treadstone that was based in the same universe. So we've done all these different retellings and reboots. Why not just...
What makes you think this one's going to be any better?
Yeah.
I don't know. It should have been the quick little story and move on, It's, it was done right a long time ago. But...
Speaking of things that was done right a long time ago, as we know, Barbara Broccoli is no longer in charge of the 007 franchise, and they recently formally announced that Amy Pascal, former head of Sony, and David Heyman, producer of the Harry Potter franchise, are now in charge of James Bond. And I don't know, mixed thoughts on this.
Yeah, I've been to hear it. What was that? That quote from, was it Helen Mirren saying something about
sexism and whatnot?
Yeah, it's like James Bond needs to stay a dude, and because he was bred out of misogyny, like the tone of the character is sourced from that place. It doesn't mean he needs to be, a sexist asshole.
Sure.
But it's where the character was birthed from. I get what you're saying.
But it's not necessary
to watch. Yeah, what I refuse to watch a movie that was like a female-centered James Bond story. I wouldn't refuse to watch that. I whatever. As long as you're putting us in that tone in the world and stuff, I'm on board with it. I mean, look, how many Jameses have we had up to this point? Like, what's different
exactly
by adding a couple new ones?
Now, sure as shit, there'll be the whole Captain Marvel effect where all these fucking people are gonna review bomb and try to take down the movie. But if it's strong enough, it doesn't fucking matter what these trolls think, and it'll get enough like press and whatnot. But what scares me is the fact that it sounded like when Barbara Broccoli was around, the reason they wanted to push her out was Amazon wanted to essentially make this a watered-down movie and not as action-packed and gory and brutal, so it can appear a little wider frame of people and do all these TV series. And it's like, you don't have to water it down to do that. You can still be action-based and badass.
Yeah. Especially if you go off like the classic formula of the earlier Bond films, it's espionage and intrigue.
Exactly.
Like if you build a lot of that up, you don't need to be guns blazing. Scene one necessarily. I mean, maybe a little in this first scene, and then you get the ball rolling for the rest of the story. Like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, Man with the Golden Gun. You have one actiony scene that develops the intrigue with Christopher Lee, and it gets the ball rolling. You set that tone. There's some comedy. There's some globetrotting. Then you get to the heavier, the more intense stuff, because then it makes you
build
appreciate
up to
it more. Exactly. Nothing against like the Daniel Craig era.
No,
I mean that was
I enjoyed it.
That was just mind blowing when you said that when Casino Royale hit. That was awesome.
But then you get a Quantum of Solace, but then you bounce back with Skyfall, and then you really nail it home with fucking No Time to Die.
It's I get like let's mixing up some of the variables a little bit, but like there's a reason why people keep coming back for these movies.
Exactly. So Speaking of coming back, the one thing that's been nice about all these different rumors swirling around is Pierce Brosnan has said that he would be interested in coming back as an older Bond, and I feel like that could be kind of badass, but I don't think they'd pull the trigger on that, and I only wish they do, because
that'd be cool.
He's great.
Like what if he's? I wouldn't mind seeing a movie where he's training like a couple of new agents, or like the agents that are stepping up into his caliber, and then of course he gets pulled into whatever big event happens, but he maybe not is the frontline soldier anymore.
Yeah, he's not the new fresh 007, but he is a retired or something.
Yes.
Like, good example, back in, I believe, Skyfall, when 007 goes to his family home, there was supposed to be another agent there, and it was supposed to be Sean Connery. They wanted to get him out of retirement and come back in the role, but he didn't want to come back. But sounds like you have that opportunity to do that now with a beloved Bond, I think.
I could see a conflict over not being James, and then this guy is supposed to be James. But the idea of bringing back a previous actor,
in the
Sean
world,
Connery, it's fun. Yeah, that would be great for Pierce Brosnan, because then you only make one of them James, of course, right? Maybe make 007 a Titan.
007's a mantle, anyways.
Yes, exactly. That's an active agent with a license to kill with that call sign. That's all it's supposed to be. It's not your Social Security number or whatever. Sean Bean, there you go.
There, yep. Good call. Well, I guess it's only a matter of time, hopefully, before we find out who the next Bond will be. But we now know Disney is planning. That was a terrible segue. Sorry, folks. James Bond died in the last movie, and now we're going to the land of the dead, folks. Bob Iger has announced that Disney has gotten the team behind Coco back together.
Yep.
And I'm talking about the co-director, Adrian Molina, along with Mark Nelson, and the producer of Toy Story 4 and Inside Out 2 are coming together for Coco 2. I don't know why we need it, but with the success of Moana 2, why not?
I mean, it's gonna be one of those. Let's find our next either Frozen or Toy Story, one that we can just every few years hit you with another one, at least have a few more in rotation, so that way you're not every year needing
Getting
to come
one
out with another one. You know, like it's Inside Out was pretty good.
Yeah,
It didn't punch as hard as the first one. I'm afraid they're going to Inside Out 2 Coco over here.
And that's the thing. Coco was so good as a standalone, and the way they ended it, it was wrapped up so nice and neatly. How do you top that? I guess in 2029 we'll find out.
And that's a long ways off too. I hate to say it, that's enough time for it to just go away entirely if they decide to change tracks. It's just far enough away. You know, they probably haven't started rendering all that much or animating much of anything yet. So,
yeah. And I mean, hell, the new Pixar, or I believe Pixar movie that's coming out over the summer, Elio, back when Guardians 3 came out, they put a trailer out for it. And now the last trailer they put out, completely different story. Because as you know, with animation, things change day by day. They throw out the script, they start anew. So it's kind of nice.
It's got to be so frustrating, though, to be working on a movie like that. Just,
right.
At least I got paid.
And then even overhaul, like, fucking directors, writers, even actors sometimes get replaced. It's no security, which is scary. But also interesting, keeping the beast alive. I don't know.
We'll have to, not holding my breath for that one. There's already an excellent film. Watch it twice. It's like 2 Cocos.
Well, speaking of highly anticipated films, earlier today they announced that since the success of The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, Catch Up Entertainment has spent nearly $50 million liberating the highly, highly shelved and acclaimed film Coyote versus Acme.
It's a hilarious concept. For those of you who weren't aware, this news slipped by. Wile E. Coyote's so fed up with all the poor, shitty products he's been buying from Acme all these years, and he's taking them to court and he's suing him. And it's with Will Forte playing his lawyer,
and John Cena.
And John Cena is the lawyer on the representing Acme. So it's like you can already see the hilarity ensuing there. That alone sounds really funny. There's even been a Wile E. Coyote has been protesting in front of the Warner Brothers
outside
lot.
of Warner's.
Yeah, it's just like release the film, and thankfully it's getting going that way. Even though Warner Brothers they spent $70 million making it or something.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I did the math today. It pisses me off. It's like, all right, so this movie was shelved as a tax write-off. They got $30 million, and they just sold the rights to this for $50 million. And they made it for 70, so they're now $10 million ahead, $1 million ahead, 80 million, 10 million. Sorry, my math is off. 10 million ahead for a movie they already got paid for. It's like, in what world is that right? I feel like something's fucked up there.
Yeah, who's the director that was saying it's just like this is bullshit? I'm with that. Like these churning over things just to earn tax money and like making it this. You're making the business way more disgusting when you're taking away that thing. It's like these people are forgetting what these are here for. It's entertainment for us. It's bringing some joy to people, not just I mean, I get it, it's a business too, but it's all it should be focused on that.
Exactly.
Most movies are doing that. Don't do that to us.
The Day the Earth Blew Up was shelved as well, and this studio took it and put it out. I saw it. I reviewed it on our YouTube page. I didn't like the movie, but I saw what people could like about the movie, and a lot of people love the movie and have been like, "Hey, man, this movie's great. You're wrong." And I'm like, "Great. I'm not the right market audience for this because
nothing wrong with that."
It didn't feel like a Looney Tunes movie to me. It felt more like an Adult Swim show. But I get it. The times have changed. Looney Tunes need to change with the times, I suppose. And the thing that I'm hoping here, maybe that this has happened, perhaps we'll get to see Batgirl. I mean, I guess a fight scene just leaked from Batgirl a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully
it exists somewhere. If it's not totally done, it is really fucking close to being finished. So I don't know, throw a little more ketchup around and see if that one resurfaces.
All right. Well, leaving the world of animation, a new hit video game is now being eyed as a feature film. Split Fiction is being fast-tracked by a studio called Story Kitchen. They're currently taking pictures by writers and directors and hopefully starting casting soon. Do you know anything about this game? I've only seen people playing it on TikToks and whatnots.
So I actually, the week it came out, my favorite gaming channel, Outside Xbox, shout out to those guys. Check them out if you're looking for some gaming shit. They did a live stream of the first hour and a half of the game. It is a cool concept. The idea being, you have these two writers who are getting this incredible job opportunity at this world famous company. They want to provide an opportunity for their authors to truly bring their worlds to life, like the stories that they have in mind. We can give you this chance to like really get inside the world and mold it in the way you want it to be. And once you've accepted the job, you go in. They've got this room with these orbs in them, and you step into this thing, and they get to kind of visualize what the story is that exists in the writer's mind.
That's kind of cool.
Like really extract it to its fullest potential. Well, there's an argument between these two authors who they have very conflicting tastes. One is a well dug in fantasy writer. The other is this very like over the top like sci-fi writer, and they both end up falling into the same. I forget what they call it. They fall into the same device. So now their worlds have collided, and they're trying to figure out how to escape as they're getting assaulted by both fantasy and sci-fi elements simultaneously. So the focus of the game is it's a co-op it's a two-player co-op. You're jumping from one world to the next as you're trying to solve puzzles together. And
nice.
You know what? Actually, that is a great idea for a movie. Like once I saw the story come by, I was like, oh, you know what? That actually is a solid concept. I would go see this. That sounds cool. Good on the writers of the game to like have such a unique story that blends well with the play style you're trying to give the your gaming audience.
Nice, yeah. So that's kind of cool and exciting to see that like this game's a big hit, and they're like, let's strike the iron while it's hot, and not just sit around and wait for like a Halo series to happen 25 years later.
Exactly. This is something I feel like. I mean, I don't know about how the game resolves. I don't know if it's something they're going to turn around and try to make a whole bunch more of them right away.
I would imagine with the success, but
yeah, it's one of those where like it was entertaining to watch them play it for a while. I definitely want to try it sometime, but it's very much focused on that like playing together, and it's that camaraderie. And
I know I've seen a lot of like couples playing it and whatnot together, and yeah. So that's kind of cool to see that, because it's like a split screen essentially that you're playing, right?
If you're doing like a couch co-op, I believe it does like couch co-op, but I from what I understand, you can play it online. But it sounds like it's easier if you have that immediate communication, like that immediate feedback, because there are some very so there's some tricky puzzles in there that you have to get through. Between that and then I know Split Fiction as well as It Takes Two is another.
That's what I always got it mixed up. They sound similar.
That one's wildly different in story of I believe a child making a wish or something and turning their parents into toys. Now the two toys are figuring out how to like navigate the world and try to get back to being,
because that's like a Honey We Shrunk the Children type of situation, right? From like what I've seen in the picture of the box art. What I
understand as well. But this one, I mean, as soon as this game came out, it was a big deal. I was hearing nothing but rave reviews about it. So, and I like original IP. Thank you for not giving us regurgitating something over and over again and taking a risk on a really cool concept.
True. Well, I'm sorry to say, Dennis, our next story is not original, but something we've all been looking forward to. Nintendo has finally announced that their live-action The Legend of Zelda game is becoming a movie and will hit cinemas on March 26, 2027. We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when.
It was at during the recent Nintendo Direct, I believe. They finally put
I think they announced it on their new like app that they put out recently.
Oh, that's right.
With in conjunction of Nintendo Direct. Yeah. It's like,
and
I mean,
Nintendo was so like, they are so protective of their properties. The fact that they took this long to make it, and Miyamoto's like signed off on whatever the story is going to be. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm excited. I'm very curious how it's going to play
it could go so many ways.
Is Link going to talk? Like it's weird that's like my first thing. I'm just like, that'll be the first time we ever hear his voice.
Ooh, yeah, that's the big thing a lot of people have always wondered. And the interesting thing here is most people are probably going to be surprised to find out that Link is not Zelda. Like, most people don't realize Zelda's the princess.
That'll be funny.
It's like
people are going to get, like, there's going to be that audience gap of just like, well, wait a minute. Zelda's the girl? What the fuck is this? Fucking PC
that's
bullshit.
Signed up for.
That's always been the case, moron. No, and I realized I misspoke. Link has spoken before. There was that whatever weird format Laserdisc game that was a lot of animated. There was like a short series, animated series. He did speak in that, so it's awful. You can check that one out. It's terrible.
But I mean, I feel like you could work with the hero that doesn't speak.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. And I mean, there's so many different vast stories in this world that you could tell. It's like, what do you choose? How do you choose just one? Like, should be really epic and interesting to see.
So we get Anya Taylor-Joy to play Zelda. We got
I mean, she's already Peach. Why not another Nintendo princess?
Anya Taylor-Joy can play Link, and then we just throw her face on Ganon, and we're done. We got everybody casted, and then you get Chris Pratt as Tingle.
Ooh.
Or Navi. That'd be even better. Hey.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear your review of a Chris Pratt movie later. Oh, boy. All right. Well, Dennis, it seems like we can't go an episode without talking about superhero news, and this episode's no different.
Hey.
A few episodes ago, we were talking about the fact that Daniel Craig was going to star in Luca Guadagnino's Sergeant Rock film, but it seems like another actor is stepping up because Daniel Craig no longer wants to do that movie. And it turns out...
What I found interesting, he never confirmed to do it. Like, he never said, I never said I was doing this.
Right?
Like, oh, shit, well...
He never discredited it for a month or two, but now, boy. But a lot of people are interested because it's going to be Colin Farrell, who is now hopefully going to take that mantle. And does that mean a certain unnecessary future? Will we get more Penguin down the line? Will we not?
Oh yes, we are.
I don't know.
I feel like Penguin did way too well to not get more Penguin. But who's to say an actor can't play multiple roles within the same universe?
But this is different universes, though. That's in the Rob Pattinson Batman universe, and this is the DCU.
Yes.
So there's leeway.
I do like that James Gunn is not forcing it all into the same place. Like, you've seen what happens when you've lived in it too long. Then it starts to fracture, and then it doesn't like to play well with itself anymore. Even though we'll see what Doomsday does. But no, I mean, I'm on board for this. I mean,
he's a badass.
Fantastic. Yeah,
he has that action oriented style,
and then giving us something that is like it's going to be a war movie. It's like we want it. He's not going to have superpowers, really. He's not going to have any of these like fantastical things. There might be references to those types of characters in the world, but Sergeant Rock himself is a dude in war. So I'm sorry, that'll be an interesting departure.
I know we were talking about how good Daniel Craig would be, but he's a little bit older. I know Colin Farrell's older, but I feel like he's a little bit more suitable for a role like this, in my opinion.
I think the piercing blue eyes would have been startling in Sergeant Rock, especially after coming off of him doing these Knives Out movies. He just did Queer with the same director, right?
Well, a lot of people are thinking that's the reason he didn't get like the Oscar and Emmy recognition that he was hoping he'd get with that, and he's like, I don't want to be attached to this guy again.
Then,
but it's like,
and then it's like
totally different things. You don't do a DC movie for the acclaim. You do it because you want to do it.
But I think that's the point, though, is if I do that, will I then, in the minds of casting directors in the future after that movie, will I start to get further away from those Oscar award-winning things?
That's true.
I think. It sounds like a little rain's picking up over there, and
a little bit.
Yeah.
Apologies for that.
Anyways, but no surprise, folks. Nothing's burning down. It is little weather.
But anywho, it's like, why not? Like, it should be fun to see him do it.
Oh yeah, I would think so. I think it's going to be a good one. And it's kind of hard for him to do wrong. I don't know, except for maybe Bullseye. That was pretty cheesy. Although he's got some funny scenes in that Daredevil movie.
Right?
So
Hell, even his sex tape was funny, people say. So, I mean, the guy can do it all. Why not?
God. If he can recover from that,
right?
He can do anything. So.
And I mean, coming off his, what was it? His Emmy win. Yeah, he won an Emmy for playing the Oswald Copperpot in The Penguin. So he's hot commodity. He doesn't have to do this. Seems like he's enjoying doing this type of movie.
Yeah, might as well
and hopefully a little longevity for him in this universe.
Absolutely.
But staying in the DCU, a leak has come out from the test screening that we're going to see the Man of Steel's father, Jor-El, in James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie, and it'll be played by none other than Bradley Cooper.
Which, why not? He has a presence on screen. It's not, if it's anything like the, going back to the Christopher Reeve ones and stuff, it's not like he's going to be around for the whole movie. You have one
pop in, pop out
delivery, that motivating bit of insight that Clark needs to reassure himself of what he's doing or push through whatever difficulty he's facing on Earth at this point. It's going to be a powerful scene. And,
hell yeah.
Is it a leak? I mean, I guess.
You had to know that the dad was popping up in it. You don't have...
And historically, the number of people who've played Jor-El, he was going to be not a throwaway actor. Like, he was going to be someone casted with some fucking chops. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he's not used to working with Gunn. He was the voice of Rocket, so it's nice to see him now in a Gunn movie opposed to hear him.
He just does one little, gives a little.
Yeah, Superman.
Hey, Soups, where's your guns?
Speaking of the MCU, Dennis, boy oh boy did Marvel have a big 5-hour live stream where we learned the 27 cast members who are going to be in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, but if you're telling me all these 27 actors, then who are you missing then? Because I know there's more than 27 heroes.
Well, calm down. There's going to be more, Dennis.
I'd be so mad because you didn't have 55 characters in one movie.
Where was the Hulk? Where was Hawkeye? Where's Spider-Man? I don't have enough. But you know who you do have? You have the OG X-Men coming in. We're getting Charles Xavier. We're getting Magneto. We're getting Mystique. Hell, we're even getting Gambit back, man.
Yeah. And I love that this finally getting this solid bridge, a real connection that doesn't feel like, Wolverine Origins again. So
right? Where the fuck is Wolverine? He wasn't in the list of the cast members or Deadpool. Oh, I'm angry.
Right. Oh my god.
But I don't know. A lot of people are speculating that this could be an X-Men versus Avengers film and Doom's at play. I don't know. Well, so many different variables.
Because I wasn't originally this going to borrow some storyline from Secret Wars.
Well, this leads off into Secret Wars.
Wars. That's right. Oh, cool. There you go. Yeah. So I mean, if we're going to Battle World and shit, then Doctor Doom is really is a good entry point in there. But it's knowing that there's more to come. So I'm like, if you're stacking the deck this hard at chapter 1 of this era, holy shit, what do I'm almost a little nervous because I'm like, you can do too much. As we've seen in the past, you can put way too much into a movie. So but it's getting that perfect mix. Mix, yes. And I think by having some of the other ancillary characters that were really good in their movies, fluff up the background more. I hate to word it that way, but if that's going to be the bulk of the fighting, then that's going to play a lot better than having these hardcore fans like, well, fucking my favorite character, you only gave them 2 minutes of screen time and they had one line, and which I get because I would feel that way too about other characters. I'd rather leave Spider-Man out completely than you see him swing by once and oh, thank God Spider-Man's here. Okay, it's like no, it's fine.
I mean, yes, it was nice to see him pop up in Civil War because that's our first introduction into the universe, and he got to kind of be the audience, which was nice.
They made him dynamic and they made him work in that scene, even if it was a limited window. He interacted with several characters, and we got to really see Spider-Man flex.
Yes,
I just worries me. How are you going to spread 27 of those out?
Yeah. And like we've said, they've already announced that, yeah, of course that's not the whole cast. There's more people. And it's like, okay.
Why?
Just sensory overload here, folks.
Exactly. I want a rich, developed story that is focused on the characters in front of me. I'm not trying to. I don't want a movie of just Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I want some content. I want some.
Right?
Something like a sink your teeth into.
And the fact that this kind of came really quickly after the whole shifting from the Kang Dynasty, it's like they didn't have enough time to fully develop this as much as some of the other stories. So it's interesting to see they're like, boom, 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 fan service. We're going to make you forget about this last MCU phase that just didn't work. And it's like, okay, but don't overstack your deck.
And I'm curious how much they're just ripping right from what they were going to do. It's like, fuck it. We're going to change.
That's true.
We're just going to change these names out. No one will even know. We're just going to say,
that's a possibility for sure.
And just like you were saying, when we were at Comic-Con last year and we heard about the appearance of Robert Downey Jr. on stage, it's the Flash. They're trying, like you said, it's the smoke and mirrors trying to hide you for,
forget about the other shit.
Forget all the other crap. We're not going to talk about all that stuff anymore. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And I love how with Magazine Dreams coming out recently, Jonathan Majors like, yeah, I'd come back to MCU. It's like, no shit, you'd come back. That's the thing that put you on the map. You didn't leave. You were forced out, guy. Come on.
They left you.
Yeah.
And I get there's different sides to that story and stuff. And, but
it's unfortunate for a lot more people than just Jonathan Majors.
Exactly.
The people who were working on those movies, the people,
hundreds,
the young woman.
Hundreds of people.
Oh God, yes.
Exactly. It's I know it's a touchy subject, but it's.
I was ripped apart in my trailer reaction to Magazine Dreams. People were like, he didn't do it, and then right as the movie came out, there was proof of him admitting to doing it. And it's like,
yes,
we're not here to talk gossip, but at this point, it's kind of facts. The guy's a great actor, but he did some shit, and now he's paying the consequences. Sorry, folks.
That's how.
I'm sorry, Kang was cool in Loki. Kang wasn't so cool in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah.
So maybe we dodged a bullet. I don't know.
Yeah, that I was like, as much as I loved Scott's character, that last Ant-Man movie just didn't do it for me. So.
Oh no, not at all.
I'm glad he's going to be in here.
Redemption, hopefully.
He's a great support character in this sort of role. Because he's going to be hard to miss. That's one where like you have to give attention to what his character does. He's either going to be fucking enormous, or we have to jump in and see how small he gets to see that impact he has on the fight or whatever. That's the cool thing about Ant-Man. So.
Now, what I really wish they would do is the real fan service and have him go up someone's ass and explode to Giant Man. It really pleased the fans, but I have a feeling we're not getting that deep into it.
Probably not. I could see it being done in another way, maybe a creature, not a humanoid character.
Maybe he goes through the stomach and
exactly someone throwing him into something and blowing it up. I get it. It's like the obvious answer.
It's like we almost gave you what you want. We gave you the MCU PG version,
right?
Which will still be cool, but
just go watch The Boys for the
yeah. If you want that hardcore
terrifying version,
you want to see penis explosion, you'll get that, man. You want to see, oh man, so much. Oh, I can't wait for that final season.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, that's gonna be a good time.
Yes. Good time. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about Doomsday over the next couple of months because it just started production. Yeah. But the last story I have here is interesting. That Sundance is leaving its home of 50 years, which is Park City, Utah, and taking up residency in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand the need for a change of venue, especially when it's just exploded. It's just got bigger and bigger. And then trying to bounce back after being gone for that period of time.
Oh, yeah.
You need to facilitate a larger crowd. That's a sensible option. The comments on the location of where they're doing it versus the material being depicted, I really get that too. I'd rather host my event at a place that's going to accept what we're trying to do there instead of you trying to politicize your bullshit on other people's art. especially when there's so many, these are projects people are trying to get sold still. You know, they're trying to get that distribution.
It's word of mouth, man. This is your saving grace. This is what you've been working your entire career for, essentially.
Exactly. Don't start muddying the waters with your religious and political views when you haven't even seen the fucking thing. You don't even know what it is, or you start reacting to hearsay that people are saying. No, give. Then don't see it. You know, like then
easy enough.
Participate. Fly the fucking flag you want to fly, and to support the groups of human people that deserve to have a voice.
Yeah. And what you're really doing, you're also fucking over your own community's economy. The people who don't agree with you, the people who like are vendors, are food restaurants, everyone that benefits from this is now getting fucked over because you wanted to make it political.
And I love those articles that were pointing out. It's like, the political representatives who are leaning a particular direction. Oh, but it does so good. It does so much, generates so much revenue, and it's so good for the local community. But we just don't want to see any trans flags flying around. I'm like,
well, guess what?
You don't get both things.
Yeah. Fucker. And you know who totally wouldn't mind? The people of Boulder, Colorado. I bet they're going to be with bells and whistles ready for this next year. Or not next year, 2027's festival. Yeah. So good on them, man, for sticking to their guns and doing what's right for everyone.
Keep being the place that people get excited to see that next run of films coming out. The films that are taking risks, the films that are still looking for that place to get out into the world.
Original stuff, not just like our basic.
Yes, exactly.
Hollywood blockbusters.
Exactly.
Thought-provoking, intricate adult films, not porn films, but adult-style things.
Well, not according to some people complaining about what's being shown. You're just making smut. And it's like, no. You just.
Sure, there might be some non-rated things. Yeah, that's a part of life.
Well, sure. Yeah, exactly.
Don't watch it.
Exactly.
Like you said earlier.
Exactly. That's all it takes. Don't watch it then.
Yeah, easy enough.
Like I'm not going to listen to the other crap they're going to complain about.
I guess that does it for the news here, Dennis.
Yes, sir.
But perhaps we can get into our next segment here that we like to call Polls. All right. So on episode 210, I reviewed the latest Bong Joon-ho film, Mickey 17.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what the Toasty's favorite Bong Joon-ho film was out of Parasite, Okja, Snowpiercer, and The Host. Any of these stick with you or interest you?
I hate to admit, I've only seen half of these.
I'm with you. There's
really enjoyed Snowpiercer and Parasite, the two films I have
seen. Agreed.
Snowpiercer, though, I've seen more times.
Seen Parasite. See, I'm the opposite, but I love them both.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to choose, really. I mean, I might say Snowpiercer just because as an introduction to his work for me, that was profound,
wild, man.
I love that story. I'm a fan of post-apocalyptic universes, and there is a perspective I never would have imagined.
Oh, hell yeah!
Portraying it in that manner, and it's really cool. So that's
like he brought that graphic novel to life. Like, who thinks a train could be so dynamic and interesting and diverse?
Right. And giving it that depth, making each of the cars feel like different worlds, really, and just that disparity between the front and the back of it. Like, it was well paced, very well casted. It looked beautiful.
Yes,
I mean,
agreed.
All of these speak to his talent, but I'd probably have to lean towards Snowpiercer.
Fair enough. I think I'll go Parasite, but I do agree with everything you said about Snowpiercer. And I gotta watch Okja. I've been putting that off for years. And The Host, I know I gotta see. That is, I know if you're watching the stream, I think I might have The Host logo from a different movie called The Host, so I do apologize. I forgot to update that. Fuck me. If you're a Bong enthusiast, you're gonna hate me if you watch this. But let's find out what the Toasties thought. 0% for Okja.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's a Netflix film. I feel like everyone could watch that. So
And again, I thought I heard like a lot of good.
Yeah, when it came out,
people were just, "Oh my gosh!"
Right? Huh. So original. 0% for Snow fucking Piercer.
Right,
What's up with that?
Movie toast is over. Shut it down.
Pack it up. All right. 0% for The Host.
There's the right imagery.
Yes, I have the creature on that.
There we go.
So I wonder what got 100%. Parasite. What?
That is just.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
But I also like you were saying before. I can't argue with. I thought it would have spread a little bit more, but
I did too. At least 25 here, 25 there, 50 here. I don't know.
Right. If anything, I thought it would have been pretty level. But
yeah,
I mean, Parasite is fucking stuff.
I mean, hell, a couple of weeks ago, I almost saw the re-release in IMAX. It's just there were some newer movies I want to check out first, but I'll watch it again on Blu-ray. I got it. I love it.
On that big screen, that would
it's
so visually just
the details cool. All over screen.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't watch and I regret? I still haven't seen the black and white edition. I know they put out a black and white version.
Oh,
I bet that looks kind of sexy.
That would. Oh my god! Especially how moody the whole movie is.
Changes it all drastically. I bet.
Yeah. Dang. Now that's worth a rewatch right there. Okay.
I got to see if that's on the Blu-ray. I don't know where it is, but it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, let me know about that one. I'm curious.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Also, on episode 210, I reviewed the latest film by Steven Soderbergh, which is Black Bag. So I wanted to know what the Toasty's favorite Steven Soderbergh film was out of Sight, Aaron Brockovich, Ocean's 11, and Magic Mike. Where are you at on these films?
Team Fluffy, baby. Let's go. No. Best part of I've never seen Magic Mike. I know I've seen Out of Sight at some point. Probably way too young, but I don't remember it. Aaron Brockovich is great. That's honestly probably due for a rewatch on that one. Reminder of the American treasure that Julia Roberts is. But Ocean's 11, that's one. It's like every 3 or 4 years. I'm like, oh, you know what? It's been a while. I'll watch that.
You never hear anybody speak ill will against that film.
Exactly, and
everyone loves it.
The classic improv scene. It still just shines like it. That chemistry between every cast member. I mean, every single person just does such a good job in that movie. It's a classic.
It's crazy, dude. A couple of weeks ago, I was getting some work done at my mechanics, and there were these 2 older guys talking, and someone mentioned, whoa, that guy kind of looks like, the mechanic looks like someone from Ocean's 11. And I started naming all these people, and everyone was getting excited, all the names, and it's yeah. And all the names I was saying was not the guy, but it's oh yeah, that person's in this. Before these people were even as huge as they are now, and it's just holy fuck.
And I know who it was. Jason Statham, from Sorry, he wasn't in. Yeah, he was.
No, it was someone so minute who wasn't even one of the 11, but he was in the movie. Oh man! But it made me feel good. It was the first time, outside of this, where someone's they're oh man, we need to bring you if we ever do trivia. I'm I know my movies, bitch, because I was doing it without IMDb, and they were looking up online. I'm it made me feel good naming most of the 11. Anywho, sorry, folks. Rambling here. Let's find out what the Toasties had to say.
Let's do it.
0% for Out of Sight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I do want to rewatch that. I have it on DVD because when Tanuj left, he left some DVDs, and that's one of them. And I remember it being a fun concept, isn't it? A bank robbery with fucking Clooney, and then he kidnaps Lopez. Is that the premise?
I think so.
Takes her
or
hostage.
Caught up on the way out. Yeah. It's been so long. I couldn't even correct you on that one. That sounds about right though.
I'm gonna rewatch and let you know sometime.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, up next. 0% for Ocean's 11. No, my mind is blown.
Yeah. Come on. And then you get the thumbnail that has Julia Roberts hanging out back there.
Yeah, you can't leave Aaron Brockovich out of it. In fact, the Toasties didn't because they gave 33% of their votes to Aaron Brockovich.
Okay. I
thought this would be lower on the totem pole, but it's higher than the others.
I'm going to maintain my disappointment because I know what's coming next now. And
67% for Magic Mikey Mike.
All right, Chan man, you still charming. You're not charming their pants off. You're charming with your pants off, apparently. So,
oh man,
Toasties have spoken.
I'm surprised, but look at the fucking roster. Those are all three very different films from one very distinguished director.
That's nuts. No, that's a good
Yeah.
point, too. That is a very good point. Yeah, God. One of them based on a real person. One of them... A couple of
Two of them based on real people, kind of.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Because Magic Mike was based off his life before acting, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, of course, Aaron Brockovich. Yeah. All right, well, that does it for the poll. Sorry that we had let you down, Dennis. And by we, I mean the Toasties, because I don't agree with some of those votes, but I never do.
Yeah, right.
I never do, Dennis.
It's okay.
If you were here last week's episode, none of my votes got any votes, and I was left stunned by the results.
It's sometimes we just get bested by the Toasties.
We do.
Know,
it shows us
just how it goes.
That films are subjective, of course.
Yes,
and I have bad taste.
They all should be. You know, like it's a everyone's take. Like there is no right or wrong answer.
Exactly.
You know, it's okay to like things other people don't like, and that's how it should be. So
yeah. Well, let's find out what you and I like today, Dennis, by doing a little section of the podcast called Reviews.
Lights, camera, action, it's review time. Dennis and Adam, we gon' blow your mind. We're stepping up to the plate, ready to swing. Analyzing movies like a scientist would play.
All right, scientist number one, Dennis, you are up with the film that is about a classic Disney film, Dennis.
That's right, a movie about a movie. I like these are interesting. Here's one that came out like right as the theaters were really starting to get moving again. Saving Mr. Banks. So it came about watching this purely just because looking for something kind of uplifting and wholesome, and I'd never seen it before, and I was really curious to especially given the cast with Emma Thompson, Tom Hanks, and Colin Farrell.
Oh boy,
up in here again, telling the story of the original author of the creator of the character Mary Poppins, and Walt Disney desperately trying to get the rights to her character so he can make the movie that he's envisioned, that him and his team can totally see happening. And it's really an interesting journey. Her love and respect for this character, because she's written many books that are beloved by children and families around the world at this point, but she's so stingy with the rights. She doesn't want anyone to fuck it up, to the point to where she's losing money now. She can't really maintain the life that she's built up for herself. And Walt is just like, he's throwing the Hail Mary, brings her out to LA. We're going to figure this out. I am going to show you, I will not disrespect her. And this will be the movie that everyone wants to see. And right out the gate, no animation, no singing, no dancing animals. Get all of that shit out of here.
Yeah, nobody needs that in a fucking movie about magical nannies.
Which I love that, those familiar with the film, every single one of these elements exist. But what's interesting is to hear not only the perspective of how those elements were drawn out of her stories, but where the character herself came from originally, from her own experiences in her childhood. Now, her father, who was played by Colin Farrell, he wanted to do his best to give a fun, wholesome childhood to his children, but he horribly struggled with alcohol addiction, couldn't keep a job till he finally destroys his own body to the point where he can't support his family anymore. And in order to justify not only the lessons he was teaching her as a child, but the support that she had experienced from the housekeeper maid. I don't really remember quite the title she had, but the woman that used to live in their home that would keep things up. Lessons from her mother, the things that we inform you as an adult that you experienced as a child. And it's really told in a beautiful manner. BJ Novak and Jason Schwartzman did an incredible job playing the Sherman Brothers. Way back, we reviewed the documentary about the Sherman Brothers. excellent over on Disney Plus. Highly recommend you check it out. In fact, that would make a great double feature, I believe, with this movie, because they do go on to talk about the writing of this music here. And it's such a wholesome, beautifully sad story, and not one you'd expect to be the background for where maybe you do. Mary Poppins is like, it has some sad moments too, especially the conclusion of the film. Even at the end of this one, tears started to well up in my eyes when the movie was wrapping up and she was at the premieres, finally seeing her on screen. And then I love that we're actually seeing the film. It's not like they reshot
recreations.
Stuff. Yeah. There's no reason for that. But it's still an excellent movie. Having grown up being a fan of the cast of that film, it was great to just keep the respect in there. That the little bit with Paul Giamatti playing her driver was great. I like those little moments. Again, those little bits of your childhood informing who you are as an adult, and she's still experiencing them. It's a great movie. I still think it's worth seeing if you haven't yet. And even if you had, it's nice to go and revisit. And it's like a warm hug to tell you things are okay, you know?
Right.
So I'm going to give Saving Mr. Banks 3.5 slices.
Wow. Man, oh man, I can't believe that movie came out 13 years ago. I feel like it was just yesterday, man.
Oh,
Fantastic
man. Oh, yeah.
film.
Jesus.
It's insane.
Holy crap.
And it still holds up. It could feel fresh today,
yeah.
like you're saying.
Man. I fell in love. Obviously, I love that era of wardrobe, set design, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to a T. From the exteriors, as we're driving through LA, it doesn't feel like it's too CG'd up. And I like that.
Nice.
Real elements in there. Yeah, it's a great film.
Well, my first movie is a lot different from that, Dennis. I'm talking about the new Amazon Prime Video original, Holland. This Amazon Prime original is about a small town where everyone lives a happy-go-lucky life, and we're following the Van Groot family. The patriarch is an eye doctor, the matriarch is a school teacher, and their teenage son is sheltered. Well, one day, Mrs. Van Groot gets it in her head that her husband's having an affair on her. So she gets the help of a fellow teacher, and the two start to investigate the situation. But what they uncover is far worse than what they ever imagined. And funnily enough, the two of them start their own affair in the middle of investigating what they think is an affair.
Sure.
This movie's odd. It has this Stepford wife style vibe that's kind of unsettling. It takes place in the not too distant past, and the tone feels slightly off, yet it's thrilling, it's unpredictable, and it looks exquisite as hell.
Nice.
Plus, it has a stacked cast. You get Nicole Kidman, Gil Garcia Bernal, and Matthew McFadden, all of which add a true level of authenticity to their roles. This movie might not be perfect, but it's certainly worth a watch. I'm going to give Holland 2 slices of toast.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Just riding that line a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny given the comparison of Stepford Wives, because not only was she in that remake of the movie, right? But then there was a couple other movies where Nicole Kidman's just so good at living in that sort of idyllic character presentation. I mean, God, the woman's barely aged in decades.
Oh yeah.
And she's
crazy.
So talented and can draw out this, and in many different ways. Broad spectrum of characters she's able to play, but she's definitely very good at that one. That's for
yeah, 100%. And the woman is a workhorse. Like, I feel like there's always a new movie or show coming out, or commercial, or AMC fucking intro every other week, it feels like. And she's fantastic in them all. Somehow. I don't know how. Man. I mean, maybe not the AMC intros anymore to me because I see it too often, but...
The sticky floors. It's been a while. Gotta whip that one back out.
Oh, man, that's a great one. Well, my next movie is about a family dynamic, but it's slightly different. The film in question I speak of is called The Assessment. It's an odd little film about a couple who want to have a baby together. But they live in a futuristic society on a planet where you need to be allowed the right to have children by the government. And after a rigorous amount of paperwork, the couple is deemed to be rather impressive and top candidates for having children. Okay. However, there's one last step, in the decision-making process. And that's to have an assessor spend a week with them to observe them and see their daily life. The couple believe that they're meant to be parents, and they'll stop at nothing to make their dreams become a reality. Well, everything starts off normally before chaos ensues. The woman assessing them pretends to be their daughter, and each day she's a new age. She starts out as an infant and so on and so forth. What? But she'll kind of come and go out of character on a whim, and it really fucks with the couple. She puts them through the ringer both physically and emotionally. This movie is bleak. It's minimal. It's unsettling as hell. Wow. And yet somehow it's mesmerizing. And it's so dark and oddly comedic. And there's some truly unnerving moments and like tension lurking behind every scene. I feel like this movie thrives thanks to the outstanding cast. It has Elizabeth Olsen, Hamish Patel, and Alicia Vikander as their main characters. And if you're craving something truly original and unhinged, I highly suggest checking out The Assessment. I'm going to give it 3.5 slices of toast, man. It was crazy.
You sold me. I mean, the cast already was intriguing enough that I'd be like, okay, I'd check this out. But that description, I'm here for that. That's like, cool.
You're thinking, oh, it could go here, and nope, it does, and then it goes higher and higher, and it's like, I don't know how this movie is going to end, and it ends on a big bang, in my opinion. And then there's some other fantastic supporting cast members coming and going throughout the movie, but it's mainly those three in one pretty interesting, futuristic, lived-in set. Yeah, man. Nice,
cool.
Yeah, it's one of a kind. But I think your next review is a sci-fi film as well.
That it is. A little Netflix original film that dropped just about 2 weeks ago. Still somewhat recent. The Electric State. So this is telling the story of a not too distant past, alternate future kind of thing, retro futuristic 90s feel about we've spent the last 50 years up to this point incorporating robotics into our daily lives. From Walt Disney again, I like that little nod to that direction. Automatons being used for the simpler tasks in life to the point to where they're supporting our daily life on the constant. But they've been given such a unique personality. They have created their own ideas of self. They want to be their own living things, and we're tired of being subservient. And a war breaks out. Well, a part of the resolution of the war, as the humans end up winning, is that all of these sentient robots must be isolated to a particular place called the Electric State, a bordered off, pretty much prison colony / reservation, more or less, for these robots. Well, our main character here, she has lost her brother at a young age. Millie Bobby Brown is living alone, and now
whoa! She's living with Jason Alexander. Come on, man. Oh, don't leave Jason out.
That was one of the best surprises for me, was seeing fucking Jason Alexander in that. That was great.
Right. Sorry.
So that's a good lead-in, because we need to understand why this. She's convinced this robot is her brother's soul trapped inside of it, and she's going to go track him down and set him free. Along the way, of course, we pick up a familiar face that's been in one or two fucking movies, 1 or 2 movies a day. Chris Pratt, he's a veteran of this war, but for some reason has completely changed his mind.
Which I love how they have him in the beginning, given the intro of him being in war, and it's like, oh wow, they worked him in here early on too.
Right. Which I was surprised it took how long it took for us to finally get back to him.
Right.
So I gotta say, I was intrigued by the setup of this movie. I liked that it was going to be a period piece, even though it's a very narrow window. It was cool. Stanley Tucci being the villain was like, okay, cool. I like the cast, for the most part.
Agreed. But
holy shit, once this thing got going, the first few lines of dialogue was like, oh, well, okay, all right. We're trying to broaden this out for this is a family movie, okay. And then it gets even simpler and simpler. And it's like, oh my God, you mean you want little kids to watch this fucking thing? I did not realize who we were pandering to until it was way too late. And dear God, let's just say Val fell asleep halfway through. And
I lost interest halfway through. Right
wish I could've
as
joined
things
her.
were getting interesting, I'm like, why do I not care anymore?
This was a struggle by the time we got to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting epic battles, and it's just cheese. It's like the fight. No. The fight at the end of Beauty and the Beast with all of the furniture fighting the villagers was more interesting.
I mean, that's an epic battle for all time.
Than the final battle here, and this that had giant fucking robots and robots versus robots controlled by humans. Anyways, without trying to peel all that apart, I did not have a fun time watching this, and I hate it sucks because we just spent all this time talking about another Russo brother movie, and this was directed by the Russo brothers.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget their last movie, The Gray Man, which was also a miss for Netflix. It's like, ooh, now they're doing the next 2 Avengers films.
And man, it was such a miss for me. I remember getting excited hearing about this one. I remember telling people, "Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it." And it was just a letdown from like all.
But the visuals are so rich. Even the CG looks cool. The character designs are cool, but the story and dialogue are not cool.
If you give enough really good actors a lot of bad dialogue, I'm losing interest. Like I know something's wrong. They know something's wrong.
Although I'm not gonna lie, Anthony Mackie was my favorite. I think somehow his voice made that character pop to life. In my opinion, I don't know why. But agreed.
Yeah,
it's not.
I don't know.
Not a good film.
I don't know what I wanted anymore. After watching, I was like, well, fuck. I guess clearly this is what they were making the whole time, and it just, like you said before, this one just didn't speak to me. I don't know. I'm gonna give Electric State 1 slice of toast. I gave it a whole one because, like you said, I like the idea.
Sure,
there was some cool character designs in there. Concepts were interesting, but I think a lot of really good
execution was poor.
Was squandered. Yes, you had really good cast. Millie Bobby Brown, she's a badass, and just didn't.
She got more to do in Enola Holmes than in this movie.
I liked that. Damn it! What was the one where she was the saving her sister, the fantasy one in the mountain? She got to fight a fucking dragon. Like,
oh yeah, Damsel. Oh no, that's not her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
That was her.
Yeah.
That was
wasn't that was that her?
Yeah.
Or was that
I'm like,
why do I think that was someone else? This because I feel like it was the girl from Ray Donovan.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Melody. That's her.
Fuck. God.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, she's like an adult now, but she's still playing a kid, and it works in this show, in this film somehow.
Sorry. I wanted like.
I feel like reading the novel or graphic novel, whatever it's based on, probably a lot better. Probably more time consuming and worth it. Unfortunately,
I would have to agree.
Yeah. Well, my next movie doesn't involve robot, does it? But it does have some action. I'm talking about the latest David Ayer flick, A Working Man. What can I say about this? Well, have you seen Taken? Have you seen any Jason Statham movie? If you have, put those 2 concepts together and you got yourself the premise. Statham is an ex-badass who's trying to clean up his life and put the action and excitement behind him until someone close to him gets kidnapped and he has to go on a rampage to get that person home safely. The writing's sloppy, the action is subpar, the acting is horrendous, which is crazy because Statham's a decent actor, David Harbour's a perfectly fine actor, Michael Pena's great normally, but no one's putting any effort forth into their performances into this movie. Hell, even the bad guys in this movie look, sound, and everything about them makes them seem like they're 90s children's cartoon villains.
Oh, man.
And it's crazy because this movie was co-written by Sylvester Stallone and David Ayer. And I don't know what's going on with Ayer because he used to do really interesting, gritty action movies. And now he's just turning out these mediocre, cookie-cutter, crappy movies.
Right.
I feel like if he didn't direct this and Statham didn't star in it, no one would ever hear about this, and it would have gone straight to streaming, and we wouldn't be talking about it today.
But Adam, he's got a hammer in this one.
That's true. He does.
There's no bees.
And of course, one thing that I love, I'm like, when is he going to put on a suit? He's not normally wearing a suit, but he needs to wear a suit because it's a Statham movie. They find a reason.
I was about to say either a suit or a fucking hard hat.
Yes.
It's gonna be,
And we got both of those in this one.
oh, there you go. Perfect.
But I gotta admit, I'm shitting on it, but I didn't fully hate it. It had a few decent moments.
Oh my god.
But those moments can't justify the hour and 56-minute runtime that it has. But I never lost interest, but I never fully had interest going into this. So unfortunately, I'm not suggesting this, that you go out and watch it unless you're a diehard Statham or Air fan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this 1.5 slices of toast. That's changed from what I wrote down here. It was 2, but it's 1.5. It's funny. Someone on TikTok just posted a comment as I was talking about this. They're like, "Oh no! I posted a review today of the Daisy Ridley movie Cleaner, where she's a skyscraper cleaner, and it's like a Die Hard situation, it sucks. People are like, yeah, but it's better than A Working Man. I'm like, no, man, that movie sucks. A Working Man at least was entertaining to a point, where that movie was not so much.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, well, I hope you can get us out of this. You got something that's pretty action-packed, I bet.
I do.
Much more action-packed than mine.
Very action-packed, in fact. I got a little badass flick from Mexico called Counterattack. Although, I hate to point out, this is from the image here, if you're watching, is from a different movie.
It does look like an Asian film. I was a little lost.
The idea of it, I think, is roughly there. There's just no planes. Yes, so Counterattack, which is available on Netflix. This tells the story of five friends who are members of the Mexican special forces in the army, that they're about to go finish off this mission in a few days, but they have 3 days. They have 3 days leave before they go and execute what they're about to do.
Nice.
They've kind of got the ball rolling, and while they're going to burn off a little steam while things, the officials are getting things ready. So as they're doing this, they find out the secretary of the province that they're in, this government leader who's supposed to be feeding them information. He's a bad guy. He's been telling these bad gang members exactly what they're up to, and he tells the leader of them, "Hey, I know the guy who killed your father. And I can tell you exactly where they're gonna be." Hands them off a cell phone that is tracking the location of where these guys are going. So they're in their civilian clothes. They're just they're excited about where they're going to eat. They're just driving down the highway. Boom, get hit by these bad fucking cartel gangster dudes, where they just wipe them out. One clean swoop. This movie, the action starts off from the get-go. And it backpedals a little bit just to show you the lead up, but man, this thing, once it gets going, it moves quick. 90 minutes, it wastes no time. Where I wasn't familiar with much of the cast, although they did a killer job. Our main 5 guys, they all have cool nicknames, Toro and Pollo and C4 and Combo, and they're quick call signs that they give each other. We're seeing them out in the forest and the jungles. We're seeing them fight through this timber mill. You get a lot of variance in locations. It looks gorgeous to me. I really liked. It's environments I don't typically think of. Whenever we see Mexico depicted in media, it's either an enormous city, it's a big desert, or it's like a tropical beach. And I like that we're breaking away from all those molds, and I just want to see real Mexico here. So that was really cool to me. Simplistic in story once it gets going, but that's okay. I can actually forgive that tremendously because I just had fun watching this thing. It's not the most well acted. It's not the most well written thing ever. This doesn't need to be. I just had fun watching a kick-ass action movie.
Nice.
Watching these dudes, and I like that their nickname Murcielago. It's translates to bat in Spanish. So they are the killers in the night. These are the guys that for you that you don't see coming. And nice. I like that it never feel too unearned. Their abilities, they get hurt too. They struggle to figure the thing out, but by any means they will fucking get the job done.
That's badass.
It was a badass movie. I had a fun time doing it, and it was a recent film, so it should still be a little up there. I'm surprised it's not higher up on like the top 10 for movies or something on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I honestly would highly recommend, if you're just looking for a badass action movie, some military themes, some gang related themes, that's set in Mexico, please go check out Counterattack. I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna give it 3 slices. It was cool. If they did a follow up to this, because there was a few other members of the team that didn't get to join them on the trip, I could easily see them getting pulled in for like a follow up here. I would definitely go check that out. So
now,
had a good time.
Where's this? If you were to put this against one of your other favorite action movies over on Netflix, Extraction, which ones, or they're just completely different, hard to kind of compare?
They're pretty different because I feel like Counterattack is much more grounded in reality.
Nice.
Where Extraction tries to give you the illusion it is very fantastical, over the top. There's a lot more special effects in there, whereas there's a lot of practical effects in Counterattack, which I was surprised. Some of the initial car accident we're talking about here, just the hand-to-hand combat and stuff. I mean, the only thing you're faking are some of the muzzle flashes on some of the bigger machine guns. The fucking Ma Deuces that they drop down on these guys, the M2 50 caliber machine guns. And it's gritty. It's a little brutal. There's a couple scenes in there that might be a little sensitive for some folks, and it comes to violence in against a couple women that is revenged with some fucking aggression. It's a kick-ass movie though. I had a good time.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, my last movie here of the episode is not grounded in reality like yours, or it starts grounded and then leaves. Either way, I'm talking about Death of a Unicorn.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
So, while driving down an idyllic mountainside, a father and daughter accidentally hit a unicorn with their SUV. The daughter leaps out to check on the unicorn, and when she touches its horn, she has this spiritual awakening. But her father decides to bash its skull in with a tire iron to put it out of its misery. Respectfully, though, they load it into their vehicle and continue on to their destination. And once they end up at their destination, which is a billionaire family's estate, the father pretends like everything's cool and the daughter's freaking out. But the two slowly realize the blood that they got on them had some type of healing factor. The daughter's acne cleared up, the dad's allergies went away, and his vision improved.
The classic
and
once mythology.
Yeah. Although I will say they do actually dig deep into some real unicorn mythology, so
Nice.
I'm not
Oh,
joking
cool.
around. They do their research later. But
I like that.
the family that they're visiting is like a family that's in the pharmaceutical business, and the patriarch's dying, and he has cancer. And once they hear about this, they try it out on him. All the cancer completely gone within a couple of hours. So, of course, doing what any greedy billionaire family and people who want to make more money would do, they decide to exploit this newly found serum and sell it to the highest bidder. And the daughter does her research, like I was just saying, and warns them, no good can come from this. Don't fucking do this. Mm-hmm. They don't listen to her, but they sure as shit should have, because this unicorn was the baby. And its parents are coming, and they're going on a killing spree.
Awesome.
To find their baby. And they're not letting anyone go unharmed, pretty much. And by God, it's crazy, man. This movie is great. It's dark, it's twisted, and it's funny as hell. It's chock full of gore. The unicorns look badass. The sets are stunning, and the cast is astounding. Yeah, Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Richard E. Grant, Taylor Leone, Will Porter, and Anthony Carrigan. And yeah, sure, the movie's a bit longer than it needs to be, but they pull off a really impressive feat here. They take a premise that should be a schlocky creature feature and laughable, and they play it so seriously, it comes off as a hardcore horror film, and you believe it the whole time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've been excited for this one. I'm glad to hear that's how it plays out. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's great, and you really never know where it's going next. I'm going to give Death of a Unicorn 2.5 slices of toast. I had a good time watching it.
Nice. Nice.
It's definitely worth checking out in theaters if you get the chance. I think.
Awesome. Yeah, especially with those two starring in it. I'm a fan, big fan of both of them. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
Now I will say, it starts off with Paul Rudd kind of as a Paul Rudd character, but then once he's with the family, he kind of joins their side a bit. He's kind of a yes man. He's afraid to lose his job because he's up for a promotion.
Sure. Okay.
And he wants to help them make money, and he doesn't listen to his daughter. So he's a bit of a shitbag, but there's a little redemption, of course.
Nice. But I like that there's more arc.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And folks, I apologize as I'm saying that. It's hardcore raining on the roof here. Sorry. That's why I was trying to talk louder and faster.
I didn't want to.
No, I'll call it out.
Yeah.
I know this is a podcast. You shouldn't be hearing that. I'm sorry. It's a pain. But luckily, that is the end of our reviews here. Unless you have something that we don't...
Oh, no secret reviews yet.
Dang.
Spring that on you later. Oh, my God, man.
Yeah, it's heavy. I don't know where it was a little drizzle. It was no rain before I came out here. Now it's like a fucking monsoon.
Hope you got your fucking rain boots on the...
Whenever I come out here, I wear some shitty shoes, so I'm good.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be shitty now.
Oh, dude, in my backyard is like fucking dirt and sand, and it's going to be a mess. But people aren't here to hear me complain about the rain. Holy shit. I can hear that in the fucking background, folks. I am so sorry. Fuck. Yeah, all right. So, Dennis, I'm going to mute my mic. You want to go through the basics, and I'll just let you run through the end of this?
Sure.
I'm sorry, folks.
Close out the show for you, folks. So, as you know, every December, we like to do a really awesome short film festival that is Movie Toast the Festival. You can find us over on filmfreeway.com. This will be season 5. Season freaking 5. It has been a thrill every year. I am so excited. We've already got a good stack of films that have been submitted, but there's still plenty of time. If you got to put those finishing touches in your short film, somebody who hasn't submitted their film yet, please give them a shout out, send them a link, let them know there is a great short film festival that we stream online. Nothing's in person yet, maybe someday. But we stream it. We stream it right here over. It'll be on YouTube if you're watching us from there. If not, please come check out our YouTube page and keep an eye out for the date on our social media platforms, which you can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube, all at movie_toast. A lot of great videos, some reviews from Adam that gets him a lot of bonus stuff that doesn't get covered here, some TV show stuff, some trailer reactions. You see some little highlights from our past episodes, that some fun moments that were definitely worth sharing with you folks. So if you just need a little extra toast in your life, please go give us a follow on your platform of choice, or all of them. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So it's one thing, though, we will ask, though, please let us know what you think of the show. Now, you can comment in all those places, of course, but we are proud of our Apple Podcast review page. So please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and let us know what you think of the show. Good or bad, up, down, left, right, fucking black or white, doesn't matter. We just want to know what you think of the show so we can make it as golden brown, delicious, toasty as we possibly can for you folks. So after all that, though, if I can ask you to just do one thing, please stay tuned.
Stay toasty.
I'm in Dennis, they're the kings of the real. Reviewing new movies, they keep it real. Coast to coast, from LA to the east. On the podcast show, they feast on the beast. Items bringing knowledge like he's Professor X. Dennis with cuts deeper than Wolverine's claws. I guess Marvel, DC, they know them all by heart. Breaking down the plot, tearing every scene apart. They got the juice like Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Breaking down movies with a sharp precision. Adam coming in hot like a John Wick hit. Dennis bringing the heat like the climax of a Tarzan flick.
Dude, I'm sorry. And folks, I am so sorry. We've filmed in the rain before. I got noise canceling happening.
No, remember, I think you turned the setting you turned off before we started.
No, that's recording. The weird thing. That was only for echoing. That's the weird part.
I think it. Can you
hear it now?
Nope. Barely.
Dude,
I was going to say that's the only thing you changed. That was
hit
going to
that
be the thing that did it.
I was thinking that, but I thought, no way. God damn it!
It does some work. It does some work.
But that's the thing. There's another button for noise canceling in the background, so it's like, fuck.
No.
I should
Learn
my lesson, man. If it rains, that button's gonna be clicked.
Leave it on. Leave it on.
Oh man, like I'm sorry. Do you think that it's even worth? Should I have him cut that last review? You think?
Oh, dude, it's the whole. It's like the whole show.
Son of a bitch.
It's
I
not
mean, it
one
wasn't
review.
as bad, but that's fuck. I'm sorry. That's rough.
Oh, shit.
All right, let's record again tomorrow, I guess.
Oh my god.
It's a part of life, Dennis.
My
My audio sucks, so you gotta give up your day.
I got a little business I got to handle, unfortunately,
No.
that we discussed before we started recording. Exactly what ended up happening. So I had to pee. Of course, I drank a soda before we started recording.
You
and I was
bastard.
trying to
Well,
leave as soon as possible, but
you know what? Let's do it
all that
because there's no
rain
saving this
didn't
episode.
help. Yeah,
Ooh,
it just kind of
yeah.
fueled the fire.
It got worse when I muted too. All right, man. Well, thank y'all for listening.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
joining us,
watching.
folks. Yeah.
Sorry for the audio shit. Peace.